Hello, assalamu alaikum. This is me again, Abdul Latif. But this is my last episode, number 10. As I said, it will be 10 of Jawdat Said's works, each in one session. This is the last. This last one is a reply by Jawdat Said to an intervention by Professor Sa'duddin Ibrahim, a sociologist. I cannot tell the date really, I don't know. I guess from the tone it was the late 1990s. There is a conference and this man spoke very, very little. This Sa'duddin Ibrahim gave this statement entitled A Self-Analysis of an Arab Intellectual. He made 5 statements only. One, they came to arrest the communists, and the latter turned and cried for my help. But since I was not a communist, I turned my head and blocked my ears. 2, they came to arrest the Muslim Brotherhood members, and the latter turned to me crying for my help. But since I was not a Brotherhood member, I turned my head and blocked my ears. And the same, number 3, it is here the nationalists. And then the number 4, the same, it is the backwards. And then number 5, they came to arrest me. And I was terrified. I am just a neutral thinker. So I cried at the top of my voice, I am just a neutral intellectual. But nobody heard me. There was none to hear me, none left to hear me. So this man has this complex. Are we cowardly? Are we cowards? That when people who are like us, thinkers or intellectuals, are arrested, are persecuted, we are not there to help them. And Jawdat Said's reply in writing that this man is not stating a solution. He is giving the problem, expressing very powerfully, but the problem, not stating the solution. Because the right approach is not that we don't have this emotion of courage. The emotional solution is not the right way. It is the scientific way, because here there is ignorance or knowledge. When you know, you speak out. And when you are ignorant, you keep silent. You don't know what to do. And the way here should have been learned from Muhammad, peace be upon him, the great prophet. Don't you find inspiration there enough in him and his companions? Where did they work? In what atmosphere? In the most unwelcoming atmosphere, in the most adverse atmosphere, against all democracy and all law, but he worked for a state of law and order, and the rule of law and order and democracy. In that atmosphere, it is just by saying what you know. It is only by declaring the truth that the truth will predominate, will prevail. It is not keeping silent. Think of Bilal, for instance, this black slave, and he cried, one God, under torture, great torture. But he was laying the ground for a new state, for the state of order and law, that only you speak out, you have the right to speak, you don't ask for permission to speak. It is your right, innate. It is there by God that you speak what you know to be true. Don't wait for the oppressor to tell you, yes, speak, my dear. He will not say that. So speak out and insist on what you say and take responsibility. I will not do any violence to help you. I will not attack, assassinate, kill for helping you. No, you take responsibility for what you say. And Bilal the slave established this to the end until people called to the Prophet, yes, come and rule over us. It is only a persuasion. It is only declaring in the most clear and permanent and persistent way, not asking for permission, not asking for the permission to speak. This is the way. And then, don't you like to have a state in which everybody has the right? This was established through people who were patient and who spoke and took all the responsibility for a state of law and order. So these things, morality, and they have their basis. Without scientific basis, they have no basis. They will are only emotional, and they can come and go haphazardly. So that is the way drawn by Prophet and his companions to democracy, to law, to legitimacy, and all that. It is the clear atmosphere established by such people. And don't think that there are no people like Bilal who will take this and accept this way. When it is clear, the way is clear, the way to establishing a state of uprightness, yes, people will come. And the Muslims did like the way of the four caliphs. I mean, because they were there by choice of people, like the Prophet, the great Prophet, but he was there by the choice of people, acceptance and approval. And the four caliphs were there by the will of people, not by forcing others by the sword. The Muslims, yes, do believe that. They like that, but they don't find the way. They think it was only a grant from God, a miracle from God. And as for us, there is no way but waiting in the dark until we assassinate and kill and explode and attack and then have rule. But violence will not breed uprightness and Rashidun way. It will only breed violence. So the Muslims have this jihad as they think, but jihad is only when you are chosen by people freely and honestly, one, and you only do jihad against those who try to compel, to coerce people to accept or reject a faith. That is the only way of doing jihad. Otherwise, it will be the Khawarij way, the law of the jungle, the jungle law. So when Muslims don't know, they confuse, and many of them keep silent, like this professor, or they use violent means to change the situation. There is no way of fighting, of using violence, and silence is not the right way. It is only your choice that you keep silent. Otherwise, when you have the truth, you will find many people do like Bilal. They will come and speak and try to establish this way a state, a condition, a rule of law and legitimacy and democracy. And you cannot aspire to a better democracy than this. In fact, even the democracies of the West, they legitimize that you use violence when there is a dictator to remove him. But no, all the prophets said, no, we speak. We keep speaking in the face of all danger until people accept the way of equality and they did not use democracy, but equality and everybody's right. And that is the way. It is through insisting on speaking the truth and accepting everybody as equal. Thank you very much.